Alright guys, welcome to another episode of Whitetail Wednesday. Looking forward to another week talking about whitetails. This week's episode we're going to build off of what we talked about last week of, when to scout different habitat types across the state of Wisconsin and, the most efficient times of the year to scout those areas. So the way we're going to build off of that is talking about how to be efficient when scouting marshes in this first installment. Then I'll build off of that. We'll do maybe hill country next week. The week after that we'll do big woods. Then after that we'll do farm country and how to be efficient when attacking those different type of habitat zones. Like I said, this week we are going to talk about marshes. I know everybody and their mother has heard everything about marshes, but hey, it's a habitat of Wisconsin, so I'm going to talk about it. So I'm going to mock up a map here, and let's take a deep dive into some maps here. Alright guys, like I said, we're going to hop into the map here. This is like my fourth time doing this because I forgot to hit the screen share thing on my computer. So unfortunately, the last time was a good run and that didn't work out. Let's get into it. Stop rambling here. So basically, I marked this red-orange line as the property border. I'm using private lands here. I don't feel ethically bad about sharing these because you need permission to hunt them. So rather than giving up some guy's public land, just mocked up a big private land marsh chunk here. So let's get into how I got this laid out here. So got a parking spot marked in purple here. All these parking spots are purple. All the points of interest are these red X's, and we're gonna get into how we move along here and scout this marsh efficiently, quickly, and effectively. So Bud parks at this north access point here. Just pretend this house was a parking lot, and Bud heads west along the road here and checks out this little roadside ditch type area. Looks like there'd be some tamaracks that some deer could be bedded on, and probably not bothered at all year, besides cars driving by who don't even know deer are bedded there. That's where we find some of our biggest sign right along the road here. And another little overlooked corner over here would be this little notch that comes out from this field here, and you can see bucks bedding off this point potentially and heading up, feeding in these oaks and going to the cornfield or whatever crop they have produced that year, because I'd imagine a lot of your guys are going to be in these hardwoods over here and not so much head into these back corners. Another point of interest, Bud would head west to this little clump of alders or looks like could be some red brush too. Checking out that little bedding area. Probably not a lot of guys getting in there because looks like a little bit of a walk to go through the marsh there. Then he'd head south to another roadside overlook spot. Just those little high spots along the road that are 2 to 3 acres or less have we've seen some good buck sign in there scouting. So that's another point of interest. We head over here. This is one of my favorite features of this property that I mocked up. You got kind of like an ash type tamarack swamp here. Then you have a little high spot right here. Probably a mix of oaks or hardwood, maples, whatever it may be. And you have a little opening right here, which looks really cool. So you got 3 different habitat types coming together. So you got like this lower land swamp type stuff, you got this high marsh type area, and you have this open prairie grass type area. So good point of interest where a lot of habitat types come together. Then Bud continues to head to the southeast here, and another little soft edge similar to up here, where bucks could be bedding off this point, could be bedding in this bowl, and heading up towards this egg field to feed. A lot of people don't target those soft edges. Found some really good production off theirs over the years for having a lot of deer encounters. I think out of all the spots, I think this back here, right here, would hold the biggest buck potentially. But I feel like you're deer hunting. If you're just deer hunting and getting new people involved, I feel like these two spots would be really good deer hunting spots. Not super hard to access. You got a parking area up here. You don't have to go through much for water or anything like that. So I'd qualify these as just general good deer hunting spots for people who are new or who are just wanting to get deer on the ground. So let's get into my area. So I'm focused more on the south end here. I'd park right here, head through this ag field. I think here would be a couple good deer hunting spots. I'm not saying mature bucks wouldn't be here, but I feel like these would be better deer hunting spots where, new people wouldn't have to get wet at all. They could set up right on this transition. Bucks be bedding off this point, this brush, heading up to this ag field, or even does. Over here too, you got another nice spot here where you could have some deer bedding off this point. Might have a buck in there, but probably a good group of does between those two areas for just trying to get some deer on the ground and meat on the table. Now I head to the northeast here. Check out this little point here. I know that there's an access trail, but I noticed those access trails, people walk by a lot of these spots that are just little 1 acre chunks where good bucks could be bedded. So yeah, and it creates a little funnel too along the edge here, so definitely see some deer. I would qualify that. You could probably pick off a 2-year-old right there. We head back a little bit deeper here, walk this transition. This is where I think the bigger, more mature bucks would be along this transition here. You got a little point here. There's not much for trees to set up in, and yeah, I like those type of areas where there's not much for trees. And if you're sitting back here, you're probably not going to have an interaction with that bigger buck. Then we head west towards a little bit different. This is the best funnel I see on the property if this were public land. You got one little funnel over here, one little funnel over there where they're cutting up on this little high spot. Then I think the best funnel, I'm not sure if it'd be the best to hunt because it's pretty obvious on the map, at least from my perspective, is you got this little swamp slough type thing that's going to push deer down, and you have the cattail transition over here, and that would pinch the deer down through here, and you'd probably see a lot of good movement, see a lot of bucks in that area. If you're looking to get a buck on the ground during the rut, that'd be a great opportunity. As we head west here, I would butt up with this pin right here, and we'd discuss what we would see on the day and conclude our scout for that day. And probably head to Bud's truck. It'd be a little bit closer to walk to. He would drop me off at my vehicle, and that would wrap up the Marsh scout and how we're efficient in a marsh. So hopefully this video helped you guys. You can tell I get pretty fired up when talking about scouting. So we'll see you guys next Wednesday. Thanks for watching.